In the world of luxury goods, both France and Germany boast no figure that comes quite as close to a living national icon as Karl Lagerfeld. He is best known as head designer and creative director for both the House of Chanel and the Italian fashion brand Fendi, and he enjoys great success with his own Karl Lagerfeld label. Born in Hamburg, he has been a fixture on the Paris fashion scene for over 50 years. If ever two nations had a private sector soft power asset at the center of the creative industries, it's the man in the skinny denim, frockish coat, pulled back hair, and sunglasses. I met with Mr. Lagerfeld in Paris at his bookstore cum atelier cum photo studio to discuss everything from fine print, politics, and creative control. In 89, 90, I think when we might have met, we were in a period of 5 or 6 sort of singular women, many fashion houses, not attached to big corporates. Was there a different sense of doing business, a different sense of marketing then versus now, or do you think?
Marketing is a word I never use because I don't know what that means. Huh? Good, let's forget about it. I don't have to do that. Huh?
Lucky you.
Yes, exactly. I think about what I want to do, and when I think I found a good solution, I don't discuss it with marketing people. Huh? I do it. Huh? Because if not, forget about it. Huh? No, it's another world. In 25 years, the world has changed unbelievably. With stupid things like the iPad and the iPhone, already that changed the world too. And the internet and all those things. I mean, the world is so different. People connect in such a different way. The business is also. Look, Amazon, all those things didn't exist, so you can not compare anymore. For me, it's like it happened 50 or 100 years ago.
Mm. It's interesting that you maybe refer to them in a slightly dismissive way, and in a way I applaud this as well. You recently brought out a newspaper, which was interesting to see. A provocation, just to say, listen, there are many ways to consume media. There's many ways to advertise and promote. Or
I love paper. I love newspapers. I think it was fun to do. It was not done like this before. I worked for one day with papers like Metro, what was like mine. Or I did Libération. I did Welt am Sonntag. I like that. So why shouldn't I not do it one day for myself?
Does that maybe reflect also what your breakfast diet looks like? Are you a Frankfurter Allgemeine, Neue Zürcher Zeitung, Le Monde,
yes,
New York Times?
No, you don't have Le Monde for the breakfast. It comes out at lunchtime. If you have Le Monde for breakfast, it's an old magazine, old paper. It's from the day before. Huh? It's the only noon paper. Huh? But it's a good thing, because very often they have things the other don't have because they finish before midnight. Huh?
So
I love daily papers. I mean, but some of them have problems because they're not well written. I think the survival of daily papers depends a lot on the way people write. There are not many great, what they used to call feathers, plume. And that makes it more banal. Because the language on the digital and all this is another thing. That is information. But on a paper you want to sit down, read, and read something was pleasant to read. Not just flat information, you can get that somewhere else. They have to make a bigger effort.
It's interesting listening to the press barons. They're always blaming it's digital's fault. It's
their fault also. If there were geniuses with a new modern way to write like it used to happen in the past, but that doesn't exist. It's easily pretentious, and it's not much better than the information on the digital. I'm sorry. So then I understand that there are problems.
It's very interesting to look at Die Zeit right now, a newspaper which is actually growing. Everyone says a print is dead.
Yes, but also the level is better.
Of course,
absolutely. The Zeit I read, I love the Zeit. Huh? The Zeit magazine sometimes is a little too pretentious for me. Huh? I prefer the magazine from the Frankfurter once a month. They did 8 times a month in the first year, not because of my cartoons, my caricature. Now, from next year, they're doing so well, they do every month.
What's in the DNA, do you think, in the German market that they've been able to sustain this?
I think it's also the fact that there are many different cities. There's not only one big city and the rest is Sleeping Beauty. I think there is something more complicated and more diversified in Germany than in other countries.
Because it's polycentric?
Yes.
The power is not just sitting in Berlin. It's not just...
No, Berlin, no.
What is your take on Berlin?
But Berlin could be great, but for me, Berlin is like a human body with an arm and a leg missing. What they did there, the Russians, made it forever something what has not the soul Berlin was famous for. It's okay, they want to be trendy, they want to be so trendy that they look sometimes like a second-rate London. That's not that easy. For me, I know so well the past of Berlin and the spirit of Berlin and the whole thing that the Berlin from today, I don't know. For me, there is not enough left from what Berlin was all about. Mm. The spirit of Berlin. There was a way, there was a tournure d'esprit. Somebody who was typical for that in a way was Helmut Newton. He had this kind of genius. Huh?
When you look at the state of where media is today, digital media, are you slightly saddened by the fact that there's almost this demystification? I mean, good brands, I always think, are quite mysterious, but yet today, everyone's talking every second about what they're doing. You look at a major CEO, he's telling you about who his next designer is, how happy everyone is in the factory. I mean, do you think that this somehow sort of diminishes the very industry that we're talking about?
Information became so easy that we are over-informed by things we are not supposed to know, who are not that great to know. But that is something what never existed before. So it is too dangerous to say, no, it was better before. It wasn't better, it was just different. It's up to us to adjust to our times. The times are not supposed to adjust to our perhaps passéist taste. So you have to be careful. You like it or you don't like it. The question is, that's the way it is. You can do nothing against it. That's an evolution, and that evolution cannot be stopped and will not be stopped tomorrow morning.
I wonder if there's a certain boredom as well when you look at major fashion corporations. When you think back to some of the great people that you worked with as partners before versus we're in this era of private equity, so many companies are on the stock exchange now, is there a similar rush today as there was when you put out a collection 30 years ago?
No, I don't even compare 30 years ago with now. Huh? Now it's all, the word globalization didn't exist 30 years ago. Now it's all on a global scale. It has to be on the stock market, it has to be, people, the companies I work for, they have hundreds and hundreds of shops all over the world, the whole thing. So that was not like this before. So you cannot criticize a world because you think it's better before and be part of that world, what is all over the place. For me, it's okay. I must be an opportunist. I can still live in my private world, but I'm not against the world of today, because if you're against it, you are like Don Quixote. I don't fight windmills. Mm.
And in this globalized world, is a city like the one we're in, Paris, is it important, not just as a center for creativity, but also as a center for making things even?
It depends on what kind of label you are working. What Chanel does, they produce in France. This kind of thing, in France, they do it pretty well. But for less expensive things, the people ask for so much money that they would make things nobody would pay that much if they would be made here.
So you think provenance is still important? When you're talking about a label like Chanel, made in France is still key, or made in Italy?
Yes, made in Italy. In Italy they are pretty good. Huh? And some of the things are made, the shoes for Chanel are made in Italy, because in France there's nobody left for the shoes. And today, perfect labor is expensive. Beautiful craftsmanship, like they can do here in terms of embroidery and things like that, are expensive. But not everybody can pay that. So some people are happy to get something with some glitter on it, made in India. I hope not by children. Huh?
If you look at Austria still, a little bit of Switzerland, Germany, you still have this culture of the apprentice. People do apprenticeships. We've sort of lost this. You have to have a degree, you have to go to university. The idea of doing something with your hands is kind of gone. But yeah, you still get this Praktikant culture in Germany.
I mean, being a carpenter, if you do beautiful work, there is something to be proud of. It's like the medieval corporations from 600-700 years ago. Maybe there's something left in the mind of the people. Those things never have existed in more modern and recent countries like Canada or America. It never exists. New York may be more exciting than Paris, but Paris is a good platform for showing fashion.
Do we see rise of somewhere else becoming more important in the world?
Not in the 10 next years, perhaps. Later, I don't know. I'm sure that China is ambitious to become something like that. Japan has some fashion identity, but the strongest part of the Japanese fashion identity is shown in Europe. The Tokyo Fashion Week, I don't know what's very strong or not strong there. New York has an identity, but it's not as established as Paris. London is known for creativity, but not for business. In Italy, I don't think it's that bad. Huh? I mean, I look, since Fendi was bought by LVMH, I mean, they really do unbelievably well. Like, I mean, Prada, they do very well. I mean, Miuccia Prada, there are not 200 Miuccia Pradas in the world. Huh?
You mentioned Fendi. You wear multiple hats, working for multiple brands. You speak to many companies today. They say the creative director, the creative force behind a company needs to focus, and yet you are able to send for your own collection a variety of other collections down the catwalk.
It's all very different.
Of course it is. And I'm wondering, how does that look when you sit down to sketch, to collaborate with your colleagues on this? That what is the vision, and is it very sort of contained, and is it a discussion with Monsieur Arnault's team as to what you might have done for a Fendi collection versus what's going to then come down the catwalk?
May I say something horrible? I don't discuss. I do what I feel.
That's not horrible.
Exactly. I'm lucky that I can do what I want. So I was never questioned, and I don't make meetings. There is no marketing meeting. I don't do those things. Huh? You know, my thing in life is the general opinion of a single person. But before I open the mouth, I vaguely think about what I want to do. And apparently, seeing the numbers, my advice is not that bad. Most of them, when they didn't listen to my advice, especially in the past from London, when they thought they knew better and things like that, they all had trouble. So I don't want to be pretentious, but maybe I'm not that bad.
Yet, in a drive for bigger margins, it is amazing how many designers do get pushed around now, who have to have focus groups, who have to listen to what Wall Street says, etc.
Poor boys or poor girls. I mean, it never happened to me, and I hope it will never happen. Huh? I was never headhunted because my head was never free. I invented a kind of blueprint for the freelance job the way it is. Huh? Because, you know, I have no exclusivity with nobody. Huh? Not with Chanel, nobody. No. But I'm honest enough not to do the same thing for somebody else. Because a label and a company is a company. I have no ego problem. Chanel is Chanel, Fendi is Fendi, Lagerfeld is Lagerfeld. They are totally unrelated. And if it wouldn't be like this, it would be very dishonest as a job, because it's not me, it's them.
Do you think that's a bit of a end of a line right now, that you are in this position of supremacy, Mr. Lagerfeld, that you'll be able to do this, but the next people who come along, I mean, they have to answer to a board.
It's up to them to impose them. I don't know. I made never an effort to impose myself. It happened like this. I wasn't questioned. I don't know why. I think it's the top of luxury. Huh? I would be bored to death and stop. When I started Chanel, I made 2 ready-to-wear and 2 high-fashion collections. Now I make 8. And most of them were initiated by me. The cruise was unimportant. We made it really an important event out of it. Now, every 2 months, because there are 6 collections, with the pre-collection and the main collection, and they do the same kind of business. There are every 2 months a collection that the shops, the windows, everything can be changed. And it's me who initiated it. It's not even because a sense of business. It's because I thought it was just right for that brand, basta.
Are there certain places that inspire you, where you see next generation coming from?
I don't know, but my favorite collection last season was the one the young Anderson did for Loewe. I think he's great. So there are new people. Huh? And some of them are less pretentious than the generation before, what I call the former young designers.
They should be nameless.
No name, because you know as well as I do, so I don't have to give you name. No, and there is a young French boy called Jacques Mus. I think he has something too. I see a lot of people. And Simone Rocha, I think she's very gifted.
Are we at a point right now where you've done all of the projects, you've designed all the types of collections, the yachts, the cars, built the houses that you've wanted to build?
My only regret is that I didn't do the house with Tadeo Ando. That I really regret. The rest, I did what I wanted to do, and even in a way more than I expected I could do. But, you know, I'm never pleased with myself. I always think I could do better, I could make an effort, I'm lazy. I mean, it's ridiculous, I know. But I have a healthy attitude, and I don't think I should change my state of mind, because when people start to think about their past, their art and all that, that's very dangerous. I do a kind of applied art, don't be too pretentious. And the good thing is that I get never, like the old Rolling Stones song, any satisfaction of what I'm doing. I always think it could improve, I could do better, and I could do more. That's ridiculous, but it's very healthy, I think.
Dankeschön.